So this was a much needed upgrade for me, coming from the Intel MacBook Pro to the iMac M3. It's a long way. Yeah, let me share my small and sad story with you guys. I most likely purchased my MacBook Pro at around maybe 2019 end or 20 start. I don't remember the exact time frame. But one thing that I remember is that within a few months, Apple launched its first line of silicon chips, the Apple M1, and I was stuck with a crappy old Intel processor. Like, I felt so left out. Since my primary setup is of a Windows PC, I now have a secondary workspace. I was actually working on that by hooking up my MacBook Pro with an HDMI cable to an external monitor. But the thing is that it became outdated so quickly that I needed an upgrade. I was actually taking a look at the Mac Minis, but I thought why not just wait for the iMac. I've always been a big fan of how the iMac looks. Like, I really like every aspect of its look and feel, and also the super slim bezels. It's just so nice. It will take a lot less space when I compare it with my PC. So my name is Prithviraj and let's get started. So this was a long overdue for Apple as well. They switched from M1 to M3 directly for the iMac. Looks wise, it's exactly the same thing. It totally looks identical to the iMac M1, and this is actually not the maxed out version. As you might be knowing that Apple actually charges a premium for storage. Like, while buying, you could actually choose between 3 variants. The base variant is cheaper, but why would you want to buy that? I mean, you could, but you won't. That's a simple strategy that Apple has been following for a long time now. This version of iMac actually has 512 gigs of storage. I did not upgrade it to the 2TB one. I chose to upgrade the RAM instead. So I am basically maxed out the available RAM to us. It is 24 gigs, but I didn't feel it was worth it to upgrade the storage as well. 256 GB actually would have been too less, to be honest. So I actually got the 512 gigs one, and now I can simply hook it up with an external SSD. Like, I'm using this one by Samsung T7, I assume. This one is a 1TB SSD. So I simply connect it to the Thunderbolt ports that's present, and now you have more storage with the fraction of its price. So there's no point paying a premium for storage, that too. Why you do this, Apple, every damn time? So I was a huge fan of iMac for a one. I always wanted an all-in-one system. I generally go with the black and silver gradient, but this time I thought why not try out the orange color for a change. And one thing I really liked about this is that everything is color coordinated, like the keyboard and the magic mouse, and even the Apple sticker that you get out of the box is color coordinated. I'm basically showing this to you because every other reviewer that I watched, everyone was showing this, so I thought why not. So out of the box you get the iMac itself, the magic keyboard and the mouse, the power cable and some paperwork. You also get one Type-C to Lightning cable. It's a braided cable and it really looks nice. The new iMac supposedly had an Ethernet port, but I couldn't seem to find it. But then I realized it's actually present here in the power cable, and wow, that's genius and stupid at the same time. Why is genius? Because it will be dangling around on the bottom of your table most of the time, so it will be very easy for you to plug in your Ethernet cable. And why it's stupid? Because of stupid people like me who won't notice that in the first place. So speaking about the ports, we have 4 ports behind. 2 of them are Thunderbolt ports. We also have the power button this side, and surprisingly you still have the headphone jack. It's quite in a weird position, but we do have one. And the speakers are bottom facing. That basically helps you to feel as if there is more bass in the audio you're listening to because it's firing downwards on your table. One complaint I have from Apple is that this was there in the previous version as well. Like, why couldn't they just keep the entire bezel in the same color? Why is this part needed to be white? It could have been in the same orange tone, to be honest. It would have looked more prettier that way. But yeah, overall it's very light, I must say. I was expecting it to be a little more heavier, but nah. The aspect why majority of the people got disappointed is that even we have the Type-C iPhones now, we still have the Lightning port in the Magic Mouse and the keyboard, and the port position of the Magic Mouse is still the same. And it's most likely the worst mouse I've ever used. Like, your hands are literally gonna pain if you use it for a long time. Many people actually appreciate the lack of scroll wheel, but to be honest, I'm more of a manual guy. I need that. Seems very weird, but yeah. And also there are 2 versions you can choose from. You can have the regular Magic Keyboard or the one with the numeric pad or the number pad, and it also has the Touch ID. You could also upgrade and get yourself the Magic Trackpad, but I decided to get the keyboard instead. I don't really use the trackpad. Not really a fan. Like, people will call me a hypocrite because I used to connect an external mouse with my MacBook Pro without using the trackpad, and now when I have an iMac, I'm buying the trackpad externally so that I don't have to use the mouse. You see where I'm going, right? And also, like everything else, it's color coordinated with the iMac itself. So I was kind of sad that it only has the M3 variant. I actually hoped for the iMac Pro, the 27-inch iMac Pro that used to exist few years back. They could have easily given us a version of the iMac which has the M3 Pro or the M3 Ultra chip, but we are only stuck with the M3 chip. So I'll be checking out how they perform in real life scenarios like rendering videos and stuff. And also we can now game on a Mac. So actually I don't know how to react to this, but yeah, I do look forward to testing it out myself. So the Apple M3 chip is supposed to be 30% faster than M2 and 50% faster than M1. And if you're like me coming from an Intel processor, then I don't even want to speak about it. But yeah, it's a very capable processor, even if it's not the Pro version. So I would like to test it out fully myself. But on paper, M3 also looks very promising. So I would like to see myself how it actually works out for me. And hopefully it won't make me regret my purchase decision. The M3 comes with an 8-core CPU and 10 cores GPU. So if you're running on the M2 processor, I don't think it makes sense for you to upgrade. But if you're like me, who is coming from an Intel processor, then yeah, definitely I guess. So these were basically my initial impressions on the iMac M3. I want to test this out even more. I want to see how its gaming performance is, how its rendering performance is, editing photos on Lumina Neo and Lightroom of course. But other than that, I'll also like to see how well it performs when it comes to audio production and music production in general. So make sure you're subscribed for that. So till the time I process the entire review of this device, if you would like to check me out using a game console as my primary computer, then click here. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing to my channel and I hope to see you there.